The film begins with Dante Hicks, Brian O'Halloran, approaching his standard daily practice. He goes to open the speedy stop, just to track down gum in the locks of the shades. Subsequent to dealing with the opening, he enjoys the remainder of the day with his dearest companion Randall Graves, Jeff Anderson, and they play hockey on the rooftop like they used to. Jay and Quiet Weave, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith, depend on their typical jokes, selling weed external the store. In the meantime, Elias Grover, Trevor Fairman, appears, as yet being headed to work by his mother. Elias has another closest companion, Blockchain Coltrane, Austin Ziger, who doesn't talk and is alluded to by Randall as Elias' own quiet sway. The folks proceed with their chit-chat, with Randall proceeding to ridicule Elias for his geeky conduct and excessively strict convictions. Elias makes a joke supplication for something to happen to Randall. Minutes after the fact, Randall begins to feel dazed and winded before he falls to the floor. Dante quickly calls an emergency vehicle. At the medical clinic, Randall meets Dr. Lidenheim, Amy Sedaris, who tells Randall he is in a significant respiratory failure. They need to play out an activity including making a cut in Randall's crotch, yet he's embarrassed on the grounds that he says he has a little penis. The attendant, Justin Long, goes to get Randall to start the methodology. While this goes on, Elias disavows God since he feels that his requests hurt Randall and couldn't help him, so he chooses to turn into a Satanist. Dr. Lidenheim tells Randall he endured what is designated the widow creator, something not too many individuals recuperate from. She advises Dante to keep an eye on Randall on the grounds that he could feel discouragement subsequent to finding some peace with his mortality. Adequately sure, Randall regrets to Dante that he believes he's squandered his life at the speedy stop simply discussing motion pictures and doing nothing satisfying. With Dandy's consolation, Randall pronounces he will make his own film. Randall starts arrangements for his film, selecting Dante in addition to Elias and Blockchain, both of who are currently undeniable Satanists and are beginning a crypto-based business selling made Christ kites. Randall says he needs to make the film about his time working there at the speedy stop, with characters in light of individuals he knows and with exchange he and others have spoken there. Notwithstanding some reluctance, Randall additionally consents to recruit Jay and Quiet Sway to assist too. Dante goes to the burial ground to visit the grave of Becky Scott, Rosario Dawson, who kicked the bucket alongside their unborn youngster not long after she wedded Dante. Her soul appears to him as Dante says he feels alone and aimless without her. Becky urges Dante to continue to carry on with his life and to continue on from her. She then, at that point, informs Dante concerning every one of the popular dead individuals she's had intercourse with, and they generally go ass to mouth with her. Randall holds tries out for the characters in his film. A few confident entertainers, Ben Affleck, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Fred Armisen, Melissa Benoist, Bobby Moynihan, Sal Vulcano, and Joe Gatto, appear and discuss lines, for example, the popular "I'm not even expected to be here today." 1. At last, Randall chooses to have his companions go about as themselves. While going over the content, Dante is irritated to find that Randall brings his personality sometime into the film, with Randall guaranteeing that Dante is neither the Han Solo or Chewbacca of his film, yet more like a minor person from one of the more seasoned Star Wars motion pictures that no one thinks often about. Jay likewise gripes about a portion of the discourse that Randall composed for himself and Quiet Sway, for example, their Snoochie Boochies expression. Quiet Bounce additionally makes some noise about shooting their film in high contrast in light of the fact that the varieties inside the speedy stop are repulsive. The folks are visited by Dandy's ex Veronica Lauren, Marilyn Gigliotti, who got the content and is irritated to observe that there is a person based off her and the way that Dante never moved past her going down on 36 different folks. She lashes out at him and Randall and exclaims that basically she has a family, which she promptly laments when she recalls Dandy's misfortune. He follows Veronica and gets into her vehicle, where she stalls and informs Dante regarding how her life sucks now since her ex split apart her and their little girl. Dante solaces Veronica, and they engage in sexual relations in her vehicle, which different folks watch. Randall requests that Dante assist him with collecting more cash for the film. Dante goes to his ex Emma, hitting Jennifer Schwalbach-Smith, who detests Dante's guts after he went behind her back with Becky. Dante asks Emma for additional financing despite the fact that she loathes Randall as well, and Dante offers his half of the fast stop as guarantee, despite the fact that Emma says it's a shithole. Further along into the shooting, Jay gets excessively squandered and fudges his lines, so Quiet Sway shouts out conveys the line about Dante's personality actually being enamored with Veronica's personality. Dante deals with an issue when Randall needs to shoot the jackass scene in their old Mb's eatery. However, it is a lot for Dante since it raises the injury of losing Becky. Randall recognizes that this is a sensitive area for Dante, however he tears into him for not sucking it up and assisting with the scene. The posse shoots one more scene at the speedy stop, until Dante gets up and dispatches an outburst against Randall for compelling him to do the film and remember the most exceedingly terrible snapshot of his life, wherein Dante uncovers Becky and their kid were killed by an alcoholic driver. He keeps on going off on Randall for being a crappy companion and proclaims that they are finished as companions. A broken bar and afterward Dante has a respiratory failure and blacks out. Randall is precluded from seeing Dante at the clinic because of the earnestness of his condition. At the point when he vents to Elias, Elias attacks Randall for being a self-centered jerk. In any event, illuminating him that Dante asked Emma for the additional cash, acknowledging how wrong he was. Randall surges back to the weed store that Jay and Quiet Weave run and requests their assistance while he runs back home. Jay makes an interruption so Randall can slip into Dante's room. He shows Dante a harsh cut of the film, which are real clasps from the first representatives, and Randall lets a scarcely cognizant Dante know that he could never have done any of this without him, and that not exclusively is Dante his closest companion, yet additionally his legend. Dante subliminally watches the film in a venue with Becky, saying it's the best film he's consistently seen. With this, he feels that he is prepared to join Becky. Outside, Dante starts to flatline. A burial service is held for Dante, with every one of those nearest to him joining in. Randall lauds his dearest companion and tells him, "You're not even expected to be here today." Randall keeps on running the fast stop with Elias. Emma comes in requesting the cash she credited Dante, or she will take her half of the fast stop. Elias and blockchain then declare that their kites have sold out and they are to the point of giving Emma so she can use whatever remains on G from Jay and Quiet. Randall then respects she wishes Dante were there. Dandy's soul shows up close by Randall as they watch out into the store, with different folks playing while Jay tells Earl Billy, Harley Quinn Smith, is currently a worker, checking live stakes on milk containers. During the credits, Kevin Smith's voice can be heard addressing the crowd to communicate what the representative series intended to him and to thank the watchers for giving him motivation to make these moves.